Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Drishti IAS editorial analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, if any key concepts have come in the editorial and are important from exam point of view, we also discuss that. So let us begin today's editorial analysis.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
We have taken today's editorial from the Hindu and it has appeared on 10th of July. The title of the editorial is None Gains, and it says that the United States stands to lose by withdrawing from the World Health Organization as it will forego health intelligence. So now let us look at its linkage with the syllabus. We find that it links directly with GS paper 2, where we have international relations as one of the important topics. And under this we have important international institutions, agencies and fora, their structure and mandate. So here we will be discussing World Health Organization and the impact US withdrawal will have on its funding and operations. So after establishing this linkage with the syllabus, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. Before moving on to the key points of the editorial, let us understand what the issue is all about. So the US government has decided to withdraw from the World Health Organization, and US has formally notified the UN that it will withdraw from World Health Organization on 6th of July 2021. Now this move by the US government will cut down one of the largest sources of funding for World Health Organization, and at a time when the World Health Organization is at the forefront of confronting COVID-19 pandemic. And this notification by US completes a threat that President Trump has been giving for a long time. He was not happy with the WHO's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, and he had this belief that somehow WHO shielded China and did not expose the entire truth about COVID-19. Also, President Trump was of the opinion that WHO had not done enough to stop the spread of disease. Though there is little evidence to support President Trump's belief that the Chinese misinformed the World Health Organization or WHO acted on China's behest. But at the same time, experts do agree that WHO also made some mistakes during the handling of the pandemic, but it had largely done well given the constraints under which it operates. Even at present, WHO is coordinating clinical trials of treatments as well as efforts worldwide to manufacture and equitably distribute the vaccine as and when it is available. Also here we should know that a 1948 US Congress resolution mandates that the US can only withdraw from the World Health Organization after giving it a 1-year notice. That is why US has given notice and it will be effective only from 6th of July 2021 if all goes well. Secondly, it has to pay any outstanding fees which is due from the US to the World Health Organization. So these two conditions need to be met before US can withdraw from WHO. Also, with the US presidential election due in November 2020, the question of whether US remains in the WHO or not will be settled by whoever wins the race to the White House in November 2020. Already the Democratic candidate, who is Joe Biden, he has already said that he will reverse the move if he becomes president. And if Trump wins and takes the US out of the World Health Organization, it would call into question the financial future of the organization, which counts on US as its largest contributor. And here in this infographic, we can see how the US contribution is essential for the functioning of World Health Organization. In dark blue, we have the assessed contribution, which means the dues which are needed to be paid by the member states. And in light blue are the voluntary contributions. So here we can see that US is one of the top contributors to WHO, both in assessed contributions as well as in voluntary contributions. So after this background, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. So the editorial says that on July 6th, when the number of novel coronavirus cases and deaths in US has reached over 2.8 million and nearly 0.13 million, respectively. The US has officially notified the United Nations of its intention to withdraw from the World Health Organization. And this has come after President Donald Trump had announced on May 29th his decision to halt the funding and pull out of the global health body. And President Trump has been repeatedly accusing WHO of being China-centric as well as of being not able to handle the pandemic well. And critics have found this to be an attempt by Mr. Trump to deflect the blame for the gross mismanagement of COVID-19 pandemic in US itself. And President Trump in a May 18 letter had officially made charges on WHO that the global body lacked independence from China, that is, the global body, which is WHO, is working at the behest of China. Secondly, WHO has been too slow to respond to the threat of COVID-19. And thirdly, WHO has repeatedly made inaccurate or misleading claims about the virus. WHO has denied all these three charges. And there is also no evidence to clearly prove that such a thing has happened. Since the decision by President Trump has apparently been taken without the approval of US Congress, and because the withdrawal will become effective only on July next year, that is 2021, so there is a possibility and a window of opportunity that the US Congress or the Supreme Court of United States might reverse the withdrawal. As there is much at stake for US as well in being a member of WHO, and also the US Congress is already under pressure from academia and from medical associations to reject the withdrawal, which is largely being seen as another political act by President Trump. Now this withdrawal by US from WHO will have impact for global public health, and the editorial says that it will have dire consequences because the US is a significant contributor to the WHO budget and it provides an annual funding of almost $450 million. So with US deciding to withdraw from WHO, the world body will face a severe fund crunch to carry on with its programs all over the world. The editorial also points out that no doubt there are weaknesses in the WHO system and its working, which needs to be reformed. And it says that the pandemic has clearly highlighted several shortcomings and weaknesses in the way WHO works. And it says that, for instance, the 2005 revision of the International Health Regulations made it mandatory for countries to notify the WHO of all events that may constitute an international public health emergency, also known as public health emergency of international concern, and to respond to requests for verification of information regarding such events. Despite this, the WHO has limited powers to ensure compliance by member states, including limitations in independently verifying member states' official reports. So these are the constraints under which WHO has to work, and until these constraints are removed, expecting a lot out of WHO is going to be futile. Also, the US stands to lose out if it finally walks out of WHO because the US scientists embedded in WHO in key roles, including outbreak response teams like the one which visited Wuhan, will no longer be part of the WHO teams, and United States will lose out on important health intelligence that will compromise United States response to international disease outbreaks. So it is not in US interest as well. And obviously it will also be problematic for global public health. So finally the editorial ends on the note that no one will gain from a further weakened WHO, which the US action is bound to make it. So this was all in the key points of the editorial. Now let us look at some key concepts. So in key concepts, let us look at WHO. So WHO, or World Health Organization as it is known, began when its constitution came into force on 7th April 1948. So this is an important event and this we should remember. And 7th April is celebrated as World Health Day. to celebrate the founding of World Health Organization. And it has at present 194 member states. Also, it has 150 country offices and 6 regional offices. And here another important thing to note is that one regional office for Southeast Asia is located in New Delhi. The headquarters of World Health Organization is in Geneva, Switzerland, and its primary role is to direct and coordinate international health within the United Nations system. So it is a specialized agency of the United Nations. Now let us look at World Health Assembly, which is the highest decision-making body for World Health Organization, and World Health Assembly is the policy-making body, and it generally meets in Geneva in May every year, and it is attended by the delegates from all 94 member states of World Health Organization. And what are the important roles of World Health Assembly? So it appoints the Director General of WHO, who is at present Dr. Tedros Adhanom from Ethiopia. He has also been under a lot of controversy for his bias towards China. Secondly, it supervises the financial policies. And thirdly, it reviews and approves the program budget of World Health Organization, and it also considers reports of the executive board. So World Health Assembly is essentially the policy making body and the highest decision making body for World Health Organization. And then we come to the executive board. And here we should know that India has replaced Japan recently as the chairperson of executive board. And India has become member of the executive board for a 3-year term, out of which for 1 year it will be the chairperson of executive board. This is an important fact and can be asked in prelims. Now the executive board is composed of 34 members who are technically qualified in the field of health. So basically we have doctors in this body, and the members of this body are elected for a 3-year term, and the main function of executive board is to give effect to the decisions and policies of the World Health Assembly, because World Health Assembly has 194 member states. So it is a large body. That is why we are having a smaller executive board to implement the decisions taken by World Health Assembly. And it also advises and generally facilitates the work of World Health Assembly. Finally, we should also know about international health regulations. So these international health regulations 2005 represent an agreement between 196 countries, including all WHO member states, to work together for global health security. And through IHR, the countries have agreed to build their capacities to detect, assess and report public health events. And WHO is playing the coordinating role in IHR, and together with its partners helps the countries to build capacities to tackle diseases. And the IHR 2005 is one of the key international legal instruments regulating the international spread of diseases, and it binds the 196 states, including all member states of World Health Organization. And it was as per Article 12 of IHR, the WHO Director General on 30th Jan 2020 declared COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concern. This is also an important term, and it basically means an extraordinary event which has two features. One, it constitutes a public health risk to other states, that is, there is an international risk of spread of the disease. And secondly, it requires a coordinated international response to tackle the disease. So if these two conditions are met, then it becomes a public health emergency of international concern. And after declaring it a PHEIC on 30th Jan 2020, WHO revised it in March 2020 to declare it as a pandemic. So this was all in the editorial analysis. Now let us look at the kind of questions that can be asked in prelims and mains. So in prelims, one can be asked about World Health Organization, its member states. So we should know that 194 member states, its headquarters which is in Geneva, Switzerland, about World Health Assembly, which is the policy making body and the main decision making body for WHO, then the executive board which implements the decisions of World Health Assembly. We should know about its members, that is its composition, and its chairperson, which is now India, represented by Dr. Harshvardhan. And also a question can be on International Health Regulations 2005, so we should be knowing it. And in mains, the question can be on the reforms needed in World Health Organization. So basically the reforms needed are in the funding of the organization, the structuring of the organization, and especially its tackling of two diseases, the Ebola outbreak of 2014 in Africa and the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. In both these instances, WHO has been found wanting in its role. So there is need for some reform. Also, a direct question can be asked on the US withdrawal from WHO and how it will impact the functioning of WHO and its programs worldwide, especially in the developing countries. Finally, a question can also be asked on the handling of COVID-19 by WHO. What have been the positives? What have been the negatives? So these kind of questions can be asked in mains. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. We'll see you next time with another editorial. Thank you.